Could your current car reach 200,000 miles? What about 300,000? The number on the odometer usually is not what kills a car. Neglect does. Engines and transmissions often fail because small problems were repeated for years. Old fluids, hard driving while cold, a tiny coolant leak, or a warning sign ignored until it became a major repair. There is no trick that guarantees 300,000 miles, but these 17 habits can greatly improve your odds. Some cost money, many cost nothing, and the last few are the ones drivers tend to misunderstand the most. This is also why two identical cars can age completely differently. One reaches high mileage with the original engine and smooth shifts. The other becomes a list of warning lights before 100,000. The difference is often not luck. It is what happened between the scheduled services. Let's begin with the fluid every driver knows about, but not everyone manages correctly. Number 17. Modern engines can support long oil intervals, but the owner's manual assumes certain operating conditions. Real life is often harder. Short trips, cold starts, traffic, idling, towing, extreme temperatures, and fuel dilution can make oil's job harder. That is why many manufacturers publish a severe service schedule or use an oil life monitor. For long-term ownership, use the manufacturer's exact oil specification and do not stretch the interval beyond the manual or oil life monitor. For many vehicles, roughly 5,000 to 7,500 miles is conservative, but it is not a universal law. Your engine and driving pattern come first. Replace the filter with the oil, check the level between services, and never assume that an engine which uses some oil will warn you before the level becomes dangerous. Mileage is not the only limit. Cars that travel very little may still need an annual oil change because moisture, fuel contamination, and repeated cold running do not disappear while the odometer stays low. And if the level is dropping, find out why. Adding oil forever is not the same as repairing a leak or excessive consumption. Oil and filters are affordable. Turbochargers, timing systems, bearings, and engines are not. Number 16. Automatic transmission fluid is a lubricant, hydraulic fluid, coolant, and friction control fluid working under heat and pressure. The correct interval varies enormously. The useful rule is not change every gearbox at 40,000 miles. Identify the transmission, use the approved fluid, and follow its procedure and schedule. Now let's address the argument that appears every time this subject comes up. If the fluid was never changed, never touch it. That is not a universal rule either. Fresh fluid does not destroy a healthy transmission, but it cannot rebuild worn clutches or reverse years of damage. If a neglected high-mileage car is slipping or engaging slowly, get it diagnosed first. Avoid a generic machine flush unless the manufacturer approves it. Many manufacturers prefer a controlled drain and fill with the correct fluid. Maintenance can preserve a working transmission. It cannot resurrect a failing one. The fluid type matters just as much as the interval. Modern automatics, CVT transmissions, and dual-clutch transmissions may require completely different chemistry. Universal fluid is not automatically universal for your gearbox. Before anyone opens the drain plug, the shop should know the transmission code, the fill procedure, the correct temperature for checking the level, and whether a filter is serviceable. Number 15. When the fuel nozzle shuts off normally, do not keep squeezing in a little more just to reach a round number. The tank needs expansion space, and the emission system is designed to manage fuel vapor. Topping off can send liquid fuel toward vapor components or cause fuel to spill as it expands. Different vehicles describe the shutoff procedure slightly differently, so follow the owner's manual. But the principle is simple. Once the normal automatic shutoff has occurred, do not force extra fuel into the tank. The tiny amount of extra range is not worth creating an emission system problem. Number 14. A vibration at idle does not automatically mean the engine is worn out. Sometimes the engine is running normally, but the mounts supporting the engine or transmission are no longer isolating movement as they should. Worn mounts can send vibration through the seat or steering wheel and produce a clunk when drive or reverse is selected. Ignoring the problem can stress exhaust joints, hoses, axles, and surrounding mounts. Do not perform aggressive power brake tests in the driveway. A technician can safely separate a mount problem from a misfire or exhaust contact. Small noises are often the car's early warning system. Listen before they become expensive. Number 13. For most modern cars, 10 minutes of stationary idling is not the best warm-up routine. After a cold start, allow a brief moment for the engine to stabilize, then drive gently. Avoid full throttle, high revs, and heavy boost until the powertrain is warm. Gentle driving warms the engine and transmission more efficiently than long idling. A normal coolant gauge does not guarantee that the oil and transmission fluid are fully warm. Extreme weather or a specific manufacturer procedure may require a different approach, so the manual still wins. But for an ordinary modern car, the goal is not to sit still for ages. The goal is to begin driving smoothly and save the hard acceleration for later. Number 12. Coolant does more than prevent freezing. The correct mixture raises boiling protection and helps control corrosion inside the engine, radiator, heater core, and water pump. Those additives age. Hoses harden, plastic tanks crack, seals begin to seep. Follow the correct coolant specification and replacement interval for your vehicle. Do not choose coolant only by color. Two fluids that look similar may use different chemistry. Never mix products unless compatibility is confirmed. Inspect only when the system is cool. Look for a falling reservoir level, damp connections, radiator staining, or dried residue. Never remove a pressurized cap from a hot engine. A small leak is a repair, and overheat can become an engine replacement. If the temperature warning appears or the gauge climbs abnormally, do not keep driving just to reach home. Turn off the air conditioning, find a safe place to stop, and follow the emergency procedure in the manual. Continuing to drive an overheating engine can turn a manageable cooling system repair into a warped cylinder head or damaged head gasket. Number 11. Premium gasoline is not automatically cleaner, more powerful, or better for every car. Octane measures resistance to knock. If your car is designed for regular fuel, paying for higher octane usually provides no meaningful advantage. If premium is required, use it. If it is only recommended, the engine may perform slightly better under high load, but the benefit can be small in ordinary driving. Follow the fuel door label and manual. Fuel quality and octane are different things. Fuel from a reputable, high-turnover station can help control deposits without forcing you to buy an unnecessary octane grade. And remember the limitation of fuel tank additives on gasoline direct injection engines. The fuel is sprayed into the cylinder, not across the back of the intake valve. An additive in the tank cannot wash a surface the fuel never touches. Use the right fuel. Be skeptical of miracle bottles. Number 10. If the car is still rolling backward, do not select drive. If it is still rolling forward, do not select reverse. That quick parking lot habit asks the transmission to stop the vehicle's momentum. The brakes are designed to do that job. Come to a complete stop. Keep your foot on the brake. Select the new direction, allow the gear to engage, and then move. Do the same before selecting park. It costs about 1 second and can prevent years of unnecessary shock loading. Number 9. Gasoline direct injection improves efficiency, but certain engine families can develop carbon on their intake valves. In a traditional port-injected engine, fuel passes over the intake valve and can help wash away some deposits. In a direct injection engine, fuel enters the combustion chamber directly, so that cleaning effect is reduced or absent. Over time, vulnerable engines may develop rough idle, hesitation, misfires, loss of power, or fault codes. But this is not permission to sell every GDI owner an automatic walnut blasting service at an arbitrary mileage. Some engines are affected more than others. If symptoms appear or your engine has a documented history of the problem, have it inspected and follow the correct service procedure. Diagnose the deposit before paying to remove it. Prevention advice also needs to stay realistic. Good oil, sensible intervals, a functioning crankcase ventilation system, and regular fully warmed drives may help reduce the conditions that create deposits. But no driving trick guarantees clean valves on every design. If the engine is known for the problem, inspection is more reliable than guessing. Number 8. Inside many automatic transmissions, park engages a locking mechanism called the parking powell. There is no reason to place the car's weight against it every time you park on a slope. Come to a complete stop and keep the foot brake pressed. Apply the parking brake firmly, then follow the sequence in your owner's manual before selecting park and releasing the foot brake. On vehicles that allow it, some drivers select neutral, apply the parking brake, let the vehicle settle against the brake, press the foot brake again, and then select park. Electronic systems may handle this automatically, so follow the manual rather than fighting the system. The goal is simple. Secure the vehicle with the parking brake and avoid the heavy clunk that comes from unloading the powell later. Number 7. Modern vehicles contain dozens of control modules, and all of them depend on stable electrical power. A weak battery, loose terminal, or corroded ground can create slow starting, flickering lights, warning messages, and unrelated-looking sensor faults. Before buying an expensive module, check for corrosion, loose battery clamps, damaged cables, or a broken ground strap. A proper battery and charging system test beats guessing from the dashboard voltage. On hybrids and electric vehicles, stay away from high-voltage components and orange cables unless you are trained. We are talking about the ordinary low-voltage system, not a do-it-yourself high-voltage repair. Sometimes the car's computers are fine. They are simply being fed unstable power. Number 6. After a battery replacement or electrical repair, a vehicle may idle or shift differently while adaptive values are rebuilt. Some cars relearn automatically after a normal drive. Others require a specific procedure. Some need a scan tool. There is no universal combination of accelerator presses and ignition cycles that resets every Toyota, BMW, Nissan, Honda, and Ford. If it behaves differently after power was disconnected, find the procedure for the exact year, model, engine, and transmission. Do not turn one small adaptation issue into a larger problem by following a random ritual made for a completely different vehicle. Number 5. One of the cheapest ways to extend brake life is to look farther down the road. If the light ahead is red, lift early, keep the car in gear, and brake progressively. Smooth inputs reduce heat, tire wear, fuel use, and driveline stress. This does not mean coasting in neutral. Neutral reduces control and may provide no fuel-saving advantage in a modern, fuel-injected car. Hybrids and electric vehicles reward anticipation because gentle deceleration can recover energy through regenerative braking. The smooth driver usually reaches the same red light with less wear and less fuel. Anticipation also gives the vehicle behind you more time to react. Smooth driving is not slow driving. It is removing unnecessary acceleration and braking while keeping a safe gap and a clear escape route. Number 4. Replace the fuel filter every 30,000 miles. Sounds like simple advice, but it does not apply to every modern vehicle. Many gasoline cars place the filter inside the pump module with no routine interval. Many diesels still use an external filter, sometimes with a water separator, that must be serviced. Identify the system fitted to your car. If the filter is scheduled, replace it on time. If it is integrated into the tank and the manual lists no service, do not invent unnecessary work. Model-specific maintenance is more valuable than universal internet rules. Number 3. Brake fluid absorbs moisture over time. As contamination rises, the fluid's boiling performance can fall and internal corrosion becomes more likely. That matters during repeated hard stops, mountain descents, and towing. A soft pedal on a descent is not the moment to remember that the fluid is 10 years old. Intervals vary from roughly 2 or 3 years to condition-based recommendations. Follow the maintenance schedule and use the correct fluid from a sealed container. It is not the most exciting service on the car. It is part of the system that stops the car. Number 2. Spark plugs wear gradually. Starting gets slower, idle quality slips, fuel economy falls, and acceleration feels less clean. A worn or incorrect plug can contribute to a misfire, overload a coil, and send unburned fuel into the catalytic converter, where excess heat can cause expensive damage. Use the exact plug type, heat range, and replacement interval specified for the engine. Do not assume that every performance plug is an upgrade, and do not install a bargain set simply because the thread size looks right. Correct parts installed on time are cheaper than diagnosing the chain reaction created by the wrong ones. Number 1. Let's correct the myth first. The fuel pickup is already near the bottom of the tank. It does not suddenly dive into a hidden pile of dirt when the warning light turns on. The problem is repeatedly operating with almost no reserve. Depending on the design, low fuel can reduce pump cooling and make starvation more likely on steep climbs or hard corners. Running dry can also cause a no start or misfires. There is no law saying every car must be filled at exactly 1/4 tank. Treat it as a practical buffer for traffic, weather, closed stations, or an emergency, not a magic number. Occasionally seeing the warning light will not destroy the car. Making it part of every journey is unnecessary risk with no reward. That is the real pattern behind cars that survive serious mileage. It is rarely one miracle additive or secret modification. It is correct fluids, reasonable service intervals, patient warm-ups, smooth shifts, stable electrical power, and small repairs handled before they spread into other systems. Keep a simple record of dates, mileage, fluid specifications, and parts used. That record prevents missed services, makes recurring problems easier to spot, and becomes valuable evidence when you eventually sell the car. A folder of receipts can tell a future buyer more than a freshly detailed engine bay. Maintenance comments are full of conflicting rules. Change oil every 2,500 miles, never change old transmission fluid, or use one parking sequence on every car. Personal experience is useful, but one vehicle does not define every vehicle. Start with the owner's manual, adjust for severe use, keep records, and when buying a used car, pay attention to service history and condition, not only the number on the odometer. A cared-for car with 150,000 miles can be a better purchase than a neglected car with 60,000. Before buying, inspect the car cold, scan it for stored faults, check fluid condition, look underneath for leaks, and pay for an independent pre-purchase inspection when the value justifies it. You cannot see every year of ownership in a 10-minute test drive, but good records and a professional inspection reduce the guesswork. Mileage tells you how far the car has traveled. Maintenance tells you how it got there. If this helped, subscribe for practical car advice without the myths. And tell us in the comments, what car do you drive, how many miles are on it, and which habit has made the biggest difference for you?